Welcome to this podcast brought to you by the Vatican Observatory Foundation. I'm your host, Bob Tremblay. I'm the first vice president of the Warren Astronomical Society in Michigan, a volunteer NASA JPL Solar System ambassador, and the Internet factotum for the Vatican Observatory Foundation. This podcast comes from a recording of one of our monthly full moon meetups with Vatican Observatory staff and Sacred Space Astronomy subscribers. Sacred Space Astronomy is the Vatican Observatory's online community. We have several astronomers and scholars who write articles on our website about astronomy, space science, and faith in science.
Well, without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Bayu. And rather than me giving a long introduction, I'm going to ask you, first of all, what is your full name?
My full name is Christoforus Bayu Risanto.
And which is the family name of those?
Risanto.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where does the Bayu come from?
Oh, so Bayu was given by my father because my father was a teacher. And then one of his students, whose name is Bayu, was a smart boy. So, so he was inspired, okay, I'm going to give his name to my son. Okay. So there you go. I have my name is Bayu. So Bayu is from Sanskrit, actually. Sanskrit word, India. It's mean wind, W-I-N-D.
Okay.
Yeah, blowing wind.
How appropriate for a meteorologist.
I know. And Christoforus is given by, my baptismal name was given by my uncle, who was a priest. My uncle passed away in 2012, just before I was ordained. So yeah, so that's all of my name. And then because, here in the US, usually I prefer, Bayu, just like people in Indonesia call me, because it's short, only 2 syllables, and easy to remember.
So tell me where you're from. And Indonesia, yes, yeah. Indonesia is a really big place.
Yeah, and it's a really big place. So I'm from Java, the island of Java. And I was born and grew up just 45 minutes south of Jakarta. The name of the city, yeah. Jakarta is the capital, and then the name of the city was Bogor. So I went to school there until 16 years old. So after that, I moved to another city to continue my my studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I have to mention, one of the things we've been doing this past year as we've been locked in is having movie weekends. So we watch, classic films that everybody should see to know American culture, even though you've been in America for a while now. When did you come here?
So I moved here to America in 2013.
For what?
So I went to Omaha, Nebraska. So I study meteorology there at Creighton University for a master program. And then after that, I moved here to Tucson for my PhD because, well, simple, because I got graduate assistantship. So somebody paid for me, actually. That's nice.
Right.
So my superior always say, well, go wherever you find the money. So here I found the money, so I come here.
Excellent. But one of the movies we watched, because I wanted to know a little bit about Indonesia, the famous movie about Indonesia is The Year of Living Dangerous.
Correct.
So we watched that movie together. What did they get right and what did they get wrong? Because many of you may have seen that movie.
Well, some of the dialogues there are not in Indonesian. So basically, I think they're on Tagalog or something.
Because they're actually filmed in the Philippines.
Yeah, they're filmed in the Philippines, things like that. So I was thinking like, this is not Indonesian, this is Tagalog.
Not only that, but they drive on the wrong side of the street.
Correct. In Indonesia, we follow the Brits. So we're on the other side of what we drove here in the US.
So your uncle was a priest, you're obviously baptized, so you come from a very Christian area.
Yeah.
How common is that? In Indonesia, we usually think of as a Muslim country.
Yeah, so my father was actually a Muslim. So he grew up as Muslim. And then he converted, he was baptized when he was 16, I think, or 17, something in high school, because he went to a Jesuit high school.
We got him.
So my father became a Catholic and then became a teacher, and then met my mom. My mom was also a teacher, so they work in the same school. So got married. So but the whole family, the whole family of my father's side, they're all still Muslim until now. So only my father became a Catholic.
So how, what's sort of the fraction, what's the proportion of Catholics or Christians, at least in the area where you grew up?
Oh, in my area, my neighborhood, like, of course, majority Muslim, Christian and Catholic. I know, like, I think only like 10 families in my neighborhood was Catholic.
Hmm.
And I don't think there is a Protestant. Only Catholic and Muslim.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Was there any kind of tension or any problems between the?
Nope. No problem. So for the end of Ramadan, we always celebrate together. So usually the Muslim families in the neighborhood will bring food to us, you know, and we would go to their houses and chit chat and things like that. And then during Christmas time, my family with other 10 families, the Catholic families, will also cook and then distribute the food and celebrate together with the Muslim families in the neighborhood.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So you went to the Jesuit high school.
I went to Jesuit high school.
Were you thinking of priesthood even then?
Well, I was thinking of a priesthood when I was in third grade in elementary school, because basically my uncle was a priest. But also when I was in the sixth grade, my father passed away. And then I really think about life then, but like, what is life? You know, what should I do in my life? Life is very short, and you know, you're born and then you grow up and then you go to school and then you get to work and things like that, and then get a family, have children, and so on and so on. Man, that one is boring. I want something new, you know, like, what should I do so my life can be not useful, but you know, I can give something to people, not only to, if I want like children, it will go to my children, right? But I want to like beyond children, you know, like other people. So what should I do? So then I was thinking like, why not I become a priest? So it's from the third grade, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you've got siblings, right?
I got one sibling.
Okay.
Sister, younger than myself.
Younger, and does she have a family?
Not yet.
Okay.
She's a teacher, physics teacher in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you always interested in sciences? Were you a science nerd? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So basically, when I was in the elementary school, and also after my father passed away, when I was in junior high school, I really love physics because of my my teacher. My teacher was a great, you know, teacher for me. And the thing is, at the end of the every after class, not before class, like 15 minutes before the end of the class, he would always give a quiz. So anyone who can get perfect score, like an A, if everything is correct, you can go home like earlier, because physics is the end of the school. So the end of the day, you know, like in the last subject we learned. So we always, you know, try to make it correct, and then go home early, even though it's like 5 minutes, 15 minutes early. But for a kid, like for me, I was proud, you know. And then I show my grade to my mom, and my mom said, okay, what do you want for weekend after, because you always go to you know, going to eat after weekend, no, Saturday mass. And then if I got like perfect score, she would bring me to a bookstore so I can get a book. So one of the book is the Galileo Galilei book in Indonesian, very thin for kids. And I was really, you know, like, wow, this is great, you know, to be a scientist. But also there is one section there, very short section in the book, talk about Jesuit. So I was thinking like, wow, this is great. So to be a priest and to be a scientist at the same time, I think that is good.
Okay.
So I got inspired by that.
So you finished high school, then what did you do?
I went to a novitiate.
Okay, so you went to registered
because my high school is a seminary run by Jesuit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and where was the novitiate?
In Indonesia, Girisonta.
So is it in the same island?
In the same island.
Okay,
same
so it wasn't that far away.
Yeah, no, far away.
And then for philosophy?
For philosophy, I went to Jakarta, but before philosophy, I went to the Philippines for juniorate.
Oh, so that's where you got your college degree.
Yeah, that's where I met my friends. Like, they are not here in the US. That's why I went to the US, because I got some friends back from the Philippines.
Okay.
And I got that contact from them.
So that was in Manila?
In Manila.
Okay, at the
Ateneo de Manila.
Okay. Which is, of course, where the Jesuits used to have a wonderful observatory.
Yes, but by then it was closed.
Yeah.
The telescope was not there anymore,
The pollution, and not
the
just light
pollution,
pollution,
oh,
but
yeah.
the pollution.
Yeah.
Because I remember it used to be an observatory, and then the pollution was so bad that they only could observe the sun. And then the pollution was so bad that they said, we'll use the sun as a source to study the pollution.
And now totally they are on pollution now.
Right. And
Yeah.
so they're not even doing that anymore.
Yeah, they're doing like atmospheric sciences now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did and what was your degree in philosophy?
Yeah, in philosophy.
Right. And then you did your graduate work in philosophy back
Correct. Yeah.
in Jakarta, and then
In
what?
Jakarta. And then I went to Micronesia
Oh,
for teaching, so for regency 2 years. So this is part of the Jesuit formation.
So you're in what island were you in?
I was. It's a small, very small island. It's I don't know. One time I walked, around the island. It took me 6 hours to finish.
So you walked
That's
entirely
it.
around the island.
Yeah, around the island, on the edge of the island.
Okay, what is it near of any? Is it anywhere near Tahiti or anywhere near any of these?
From Guam,
Okay.
the U.S. territory, it took about 3 hours by flying.
By flight.
Yeah,
Okay.
by flight. Not quite far.
All right.
Yeah,
Did you learn to surf? Did you learn to swim?
No.
Did you do any of those things?
I like to swim
Okay.
because it's easier to swim in the salt water.
And I remember you telling me about the cafeteria at the school.
Yeah.
The
cafeteria?
view.
Oh, the view. Yeah, not the cafeteria. Actually, the
Oh.
dining room. So
Dining
that dining room is gorgeous. So it's facing the Pacific Ocean, very serene, and a lot of
No matter where you look, you're facing the
Oh
Pacific
yeah.
Ocean.
But from above, because our dining room is on the second floor,
Uh-huh.
so we have really great view. Tourists usually ask, like tourists from Japan, Korea,
Mhm.
the US, if they go to the island, they always would like to go to our school. Our school is on top of the hill. We call it Mabuchi Hill. So if you Google in the internet Mabuchi Hill, it will locate our school there. And always go up there, and then from the windows, we have very nice big windows. And one time I was eating there for lunch, and then one of the tourists said, "You're a student, right? Why you are here?" Because it's only for staff. I said, "I'm a staff, I'm a teacher." No way.
Because you look so young.
Yeah, I look so like a kid,
Well, I won't reveal how old you are, except when I was looking for pictures to post. The best one was in front of your birthday cake that said 40 on it.
Yeah, 40. So I turned 40 this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you teach there?
Oh, so I taught physics, geometry, and what's the other one? General science.
Okay, what language did you teach in?
We teach in English.
So you already had English by then.
I had English.
Did you learn it in grade school? Or?
Yeah, I learned in grade school and high school, and when I was in philosophy.
Okay.
When I was,
So what
Yeah,
languages typically do you learn growing up in Indonesia?
so I grew up with 3 languages. So Indonesian is the national language, which is taught in school. And then Sundanese is the language spoken in my neighborhood. And then my mom and my father is Javanese, so they talk each other in Javanese. And I grew up with, I understand it because,
Right.
You grew up with a
Hearing
lot
it
of
all the
noise.
time, right.
So I grew up with 3 languages. And
Okay.
then plus I learned English in school.
Mhm.
And then when I was in high school, I learned Latin. And then when I was in philosophy, I learned French. There.
So pretty good. I know your Latin is much better than mine. We've come across that a few times. All right, so you finish your regency, and then you're going off to theology at that
Going
point?
to theology. Yeah.
So where did you study that?
I studied in Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm not a smart guy, so they didn't send me to anywhere. Except Indonesia.
Right. Okay, so you finished, you're ordained. What year would that have been?
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
And then presumably you were going to go off and teach high school someplace. What happened?
Well, so my first year in theology, actually, my provincial asked me. So my boss asked me, "Hey, Bayu, do you want to do further studies?" I said, "Yeah, I want to study physics because I love it. That's my vocation is, from the beginning." But he said, no, we do not need any physicists anymore because we have already 3 people in physics in this province in Indonesia.
How big is your province? How many do you have?
350 something people.
So it's a decent sized province.
Yeah. So we have already 3 physicists. They are all teaching, one in high school, 2 in the university, and no more. We need no more. So he asked me if I would like to study meteorology, climate change, and climatology, things like that. I said, sure.
What was his idea? Why would he think you'd do
So
that?
the idea is I would go to the university and then kind of teaching in their physics department, and also to other departments because of the climate change issue. So we need somebody who can talk about it, like with what you call
with authority.
With authority.
Yes, right.
So yeah, okay, okay. And then he asked me to find my own school. So usually people were assigned to a mission like this, already they have idea where school is, you go to Rome or something like that. But he asked me to find my own school. So I was thinking like, okay, I will ask my friend in the US,
The guys you had met from the Philippines.
Yeah, from the Philippines. So they helped me to go to the US, and they said, why don't you just go to Omaha? Because his hometown is in Omaha and he has sister in Omaha too. So I said, okay, fine. So
it's a Jesuit university.
And also a Jesuit university, I can stay there. Yeah.
So they actually have a meteorology department?
They have meteorology department because of the US Air Force. The US Air Force sent people to get a degree in meteorology at that university.
At Creighton. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of stuff that you were learning there then?
They have only like undergrad and master degree. So many of them working in the field. So like launching balloons and things like that. So
that's where that picture of launching the balloon came from.
Correct. Okay. And we also learned how to do the weather forecast, like not the weather forecast doing the modeling, but to present it in the TV,
So you can get a job doing that. Nothing else. True. Right. You can be the weatherman.
Yeah. So I have some people who work in NWS and also in the TV station.
Which is NWS being National
Weather Service.
Right.
And also in the TV station. So I have some friends who are working there.
Anyway, okay, so you're basically getting the basics of, but this isn't particularly climate modeling. This is just the basics, right?
Yeah, that's the basic. Yeah.
So how did you were saying, okay, Arizona gave you a scholarship.
Correct.
What is it in the program at Arizona that you decided this is what I want to do?
Because they have a tropical weather. So when I applied to 3 universities, St. Louis, University of Michigan, and University of Arizona. And why? Because in these 3, they have a tropical meteorology, especially in St. Louis because of Jesuit University, but also they also deal with pollution. And that's a big problem in Southeast Asia, pollution. So I want to go there, but they didn't give me money. So what's the purpose? Right. And in Michigan, they have tropical meteorology, but they more into they went into satellite, making satellite observation, things like that. Here is more like what I want, like tropical and then data analysis, things like that. But I learned something here because when I arrived here, I asked my professor that I only know how to do data analysis. And my professor said, well, if you only do that, you will not get a job. You need to do modeling. I said, I don't know modeling. So I learned modeling here actually. Okay. And my first paper is about modeling. And then my second and the third paper also about modeling.
So what are the kinds of, what are you modeling and where and who's paying for this?
Okay. So my first and my second paper is about Sonora Desert. So modeling the monsoon, precipitation in Sonora. So basically in north of Mexico. Okay. So that's my first and my second papers. And then my third one, we got funding actually from Saudi Arabia. So
we have an Indonesian working in Arizona to work out the climate of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
All right, sure, why not?
Yeah, so I got it from Saudi Arabia, and actually my professor asked me when I got it, like when we got it, like almost 3 years ago now. He asked me like, is it okay if you got money from Saudi Arabia, given that you are a Jesuit and a priest related to somewhere to Catholic Church at Rome? I said, why not?
You're holy. Half your family's Muslim. What's the problem? Right.
What's the problem? So I was happy with that. And then the good things about it is that I have access to their supercomputer called Sahin. So this is one of the 7 or 10 supercomputer in the world. And one of them is Saudi Arabia. And I have access to that and then run the models freely there. I got like 700,000 hours per year to run my model.
Wow. All right. Now we've got a few nerds in this group. Tell me, what language do you work in?
So for the model itself was written in Fortran and C. So this is back from
ancient. So you've used
ancient.
The fact that you speak Latin is well prepared you for working in Fortran.
Yeah. So this is so the models, modeling that we have today is built since 1960s or 50s from the earliest time of computer. So it's in Fortran and in C. For the analysis, I use MATLAB and Python and NCL. So NCL is the NCAR language from Boulder, Colorado.
So you've been here actually living in our community for how long?
For a year, almost 5 years now.
5 years, yeah.
Almost 5 years.
Well, on top of all of that, you're also a priest.
I am a priest.
And so you do stuff as well.
I do.
Give me an example of some of the things you do here in the parish.
Oh, so before the pandemic, usually I would say mass in Holy Family Church down in the University Boulevard, like down in the
downtown,
downtown, almost downtown. And then also I sit for like hearing confession at the Newman Center. And what is interesting, what is really exciting for me every now and then is going down to the reservation to for Christmas and then Easter Sunday to celebrate Christmas and Easter with the American Indian down in the reservation, the Tohono O'odham. So that's really, really nice.
So
I like it.
Where did you describe what you were doing this Easter? Because that was kind of extensive.
Yeah, so this is my first time going to the farthest end of their territory, like really far away. And it's like, what, 1 hour and a half or something like this, 100 miles away from where usually I celebrate the Mass. So I really went there out and I didn't know anything. Never been there before, never been to that place before. And the priest, the Franciscan friar in that church only told me, well, you'll see the sign.
So you're on a road in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, in the middle of the,
just kind of go that way.
Yeah, just go that way, you'll see the sign and then you'll turn left.
But of course, you have GPS in your phone, right?
Yeah, but my phone didn't work. So that's the thing. So I have to rely on I have to rely on my eyes. And but also one time, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now. So I got an assignment from the Franciscan friar to go to one place for Christmas Eve Mass. And it was pour raining. And there are 3, what you call that? Rivers? Yeah, the
dry rivers.
Dry rivers. But because it's raining, they all have water, right? And it was pour rain, and then I went there in the middle of the night, like 10 o'clock, and I didn't see anything. And I was thinking like, oh, that one, like, a lot of lights. So it must be the church. So I turned there with my truck, and then I got stuck in the mud. Yeah, so that's really scary. So I was thinking like, man, I'm going, to stay here without saying a mass and wait till the morning to somebody rescue me.
But they found you.
No, I try hard to get out of the mud. So
okay. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? What do you hope to do? What are the possibilities that might happen?
I don't know. So actually, as I told you, can I tell?
No, you can tell.
Okay.
We're small, we're friendly.
Yeah. So provincial always change, right?
Yeah, so
Jesuit provincial always change like every 5 years, 6 years. And so I went to the US under Father Rio, who is the provincial in 2012. And then he was replaced by the provincial called, his name is Sunu, and he's a biologist. So he kind of, he encouraged me, okay, go ahead pursuing a PhD. We will have job here in Indonesia. Okay, I said. And then I was replaced again last year with another provincial. His name is Benny, and he's a sociologist from, what's his name, Oxford. And he told me, well, if you finish, then we don't have work here because the physics department closed. Oh boy. So the physics department in the university closed down, so we don't have any more. So he asked me like, find a job, you know. Man, I have to find a job. So I find my own school. Now I have to find a job. So when my professor told me, well, you can stay here for a postdoc for 2 years if you want, I just simply like, I'll do it, you know. But also if there is happening in 2 years, like for instance, I got another offer for another postdoc in areas that I really like it, then I'll move, you know. Yeah.
And who knows, by the time that's all finished, you'll have a new provincial again.
I know. So kind of crazy, but it's okay. That's the life.
And as I've said to you, you know, planetary sciences includes atmospheric sciences. So if you wanted to do it in a more planetary scale with the observatory, that would be something that, you know, 5 years down the line or whatever, we could be looking at.
Yeah.
The one last thing that you've made a huge impact in our community. You know, just the 9 Jesuits who live here in Tucson, because of your cooking. So tell us about the things you like to cook.
Oh yeah, I like to cook fish and rice.
Right. Neither of which is what you'd associate with Tucson. So how do you find these things?
So when I came here, there's no rice cooker, right? And then Justin came and he liked to eat rice. So he asked me, is there a rice cooker here? No. I said, okay, let's go get a rice cooker in the Bath and Beyond. So we went to Bath and Beyond, get a rice cooker, $90. It's very cheap. So since then I cook with him before the pandemic happened, you know. So we explore a lot of recipe from Indonesia and fish basically and chicken and things like that. Kebab. So I used to make a kebab here. And then the pandemic hit and brother guy got stuck here. And then we always eat curry.
Yes, I love curry. So we've been doing a lot of curry.
That's a lot of curry every Saturday before the movies.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a wrap for this podcast. Our audio editors for this podcast were Brother Guy Consolmagno and myself, Bob Tremblay. You can listen to our other podcasts and read posts by us on the web at vaticanobservatory.org. Clear skies, everyone.